I'm just going to say good morning, One Heart, One Mind. So glad you're all here. And for those that are watching it in recording, we're happy you're watching. So I'm going to begin by, I think I've played this song before, but it's so beautiful. I'd like to play it again for our starting song, but let me get it up on my screen so I can share it with you. And I'm going to, this one has, what am I trying to say? It has words, so it's better to share it as a video. So I'm going to share it as a video so you can see the lyrics on the screen. So I'm going to share sound. And obviously this is Gary Lynn Floyd.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. 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 I will not be shaken. I will not be moved. Love, cover me. May my heart awaken, tenderness be proved. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Love, love, love.
Oh, yes. Love cover us as we begin this wonderful Sunday service. I'm going to get us going on Facebook here. I just remembered I hadn't put the live stream on, but I want to invite our practitioner of the day, Rob McGovern, to kick us off.
Okay. She actually knows my name is McGregor, but it's
What did
that's
I say?
McGovern, but it's not a bad name.
How funny am I? I don't know why I did.
No, that's okay. Quite all right. Hey, it has come down from on high that today's talk is entitled "It's a New Life." And when I do this practitioner of the day gig, I always preface it by saying that I got no clue how Michelle's going to deal with this, but here's how I'm dealing with it. It's a new life implies a birth, your birth. And you've heard me say that when we're born, we are pre-programmed with a purpose to have a fun, fulfilling life. So you're pre-programmed with this mission. Okay, ready, set, go, and you're born. It's a new life. Now, you assess what you got going for you. What tools have you got? Well, you've got a little baby mind and little baby arms and baby legs and little baby hands, and you set out to learn how to use these tools. And what do? Use them for? You use them to play. All young children have an instinctive urge to play. They are getting a jump start on their mission to have a fun, fulfilling life. If they have Mattel toys or Hasbro toys, they play with those. If all they got are sticks and rocks, they play with those. The physical universe is a playground, and that's all it is. It has obstacles, and obstacles can be scary, but overcoming them is fun. The very first time you saw a swing set or a jungle gym, they looked scary and intimidating, but you figured out how to master them, and then they became fun. When you first saw a bicycle, now that was scary. But if you mastered it, riding the bike became fun. Okay, cut to today. What's your mission? Same as it's always been, to have a fun, fulfilling life. Now, what gets in the way of that mission? We get bogged down by our problems. We might have relationship problems. We might have health problems. We might have financial problems. And we start to think that perhaps our problems don't have a solution. That's wrong. In the physical universe that was created for fun, problems and solutions are created in pairs. Problems and solutions are created as a set. Now, not all sets are packaged together. If you buy a salt shaker, odds are it comes in the same package as the pepper shaker. But the solution to your problem may well not be packaged with the problem. But it's still there. Here's an example. You're looking at a picture of a whole bunch of people, and your immediate problem is contained in the caption to that picture. What's the caption say? It says, "Where's Waldo?" Well, I don't see Waldo over here, and I don't see Waldo over here, and I don't see him down here. But does it ever cross your mind that they forgot to put Waldo in the picture? No, that never occurs to you. You have absolute faith that the solution is there to be found. Now, some solutions are harder to find than others, but there's always, always, always a solution to the problem that you can find. That is why when we pray, we say, "I am so grateful that I have the solution to my problem right here and right now." Notice that implicit in that statement is the certainty that the solution to your problem exists. Of course, it exists. Now, sometimes our time in this body expires before we stumble onto the solution, but the solution always exists. Why do we solve problems? Because solving problems is fulfilling. Solving problems is fun. Solving problems is one of the primary ways we accomplish our mission, to have a fun, fulfilling life. But what if you're discouraged by the past? You've looked and you've looked, and you can't find Waldo anywhere. Well, Jesus said, you must be born again. Now, notice, he didn't say, you must be born again in me. He didn't say, you must be born again in Jesus. No, he just said, you must be born again. So, you ready? Ready, set, go. And you're born. It's a new life. When babies are born, there's no discouragement because for all practical purposes, they've got no past. And you can be reborn every day if you want. You can be reborn 10 times a day if you want. It's always a new beginning and a brand new you. You can never get it wrong because you've got endless do-overs. Just how cool is that? And so I invite you to join me if you are so inclined to close your eyes if you like and just settle back into the warm, beautiful goodness of God, into the awareness of the all that is, as right now I accept that I am one with that and that we are together in this goodness of God. And I am so grateful for the magnificence of this life, how there's always room for more fulfillment and more fun. It's always there, and we are getting better and better and better at finding it and experiencing it and loving it and cherishing it and just being so grateful for the goodness of God that is our lives. Thank you, God. Thank you for what we have here this morning as a wonderful group that has come together to experience the goodness. And we are feeling it right now. I know that is true. I am so happy that it is true. Happy for what we will learn today. Happy for what we will experience today. Happy for what we will celebrate today. Thank you, God, that this is just the case. It's just all there is to it. Thank you so much. I release my word, and as the one that we are, we say, and so it is. And now, as is our tradition, there it is. Today's January affirmation. Today, I recognize the power within me that proclaims, behold, I make all things new. And from this place of infinite possibility, I confidently cast my word into law for the expression of God's peace and love to fill every heart and the fullness of life to overflow from every soul. My word catches fire with the power of law. All is well, and so it is.
Wow. That was very powerful, Rob. And now every time I have a challenge, I'm going to be looking for Waldo. And the other piece that I took away is there are an endless amount of do-overs. I love that. Oh, thank you so much for that. And I found this song by Karen Drucker that speaks directly to what we're talking about today. So I'm actually going to do this a little differently. I'm going to do just the sound because that's all we really need here. So let me get it going. Hang on a second. And here we'll. Can you hear it?
What do you want? Where do you want to go? You'll get what you want if you act as if you know. It starts with you. Do you believe it? It's all in the way that you choose to see it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do. Change, change. You can do it. Change, change. It's a sure thing. Change, change. Expect a miracle change. Watch me change when you change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 change. Do 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 do.
Yeah, that's the topic for the day. That's what Rob was talking about. That's what we're talking about today. So, good morning, all you lovely people. Oh, Lisa made it. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning.
Glad you're here. Glad to see everybody this morning. What a delightful day. I was saying before we got on that I'm loving the rain. It's absolutely gorgeous. So, good morning again, and welcome to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. And I always like to say, if it's in real time or replay, we're just glad you're connecting, however that works for you. So every week, at the beginning of every service, we kind of kick things off with music. And then we have a few inspiring words along with a centering prayer from one of our practitioners. This morning, it was a very talented and wonderful practitioner, Rob McGregor. And then we have more uplifting music before I deliver the Sunday message. And sometimes I have to admit that I think, maybe this is too much. Maybe we should just kind of change things up a little bit. Do we have to do all these things in the beginning of every service? And then I remember, the purpose, the meaning that we do all of these things before that. I remember the purpose of the inspiring words and the music and all that we do before I start talking. And that is to kind of pull our attention away from our regular daily lives, and the busyness of our days, and to relax us and to bring us into community and to establish ourselves in the recognition of our oneness with each other and with the divine presence that's within all of us. It opens us up to be receptive to hearing about spiritual principle and hopefully a new and a fresh way. Maybe hear a new idea about living spiritual principle in our daily lives. I know I did. Now I'm going to be looking for Waldo everywhere. These things help us to empower us to live from God's infinite good. That's why we take our time to center and to open. And traditionally, that's what we do in all centers for spiritual living every January. We haven't talked about this yet this year, but generally we pause, we reflect, we become receptive to hear the basic principles of metaphysics, and hopefully in a new way, from a fresh new perspective. We go back to basics, the basics of metaphysics, and we take an honest look at our lives. We ask ourselves, are we happy? Are we satisfied with the way that our lives are? Is there anything we'd like to change? And how can we do that? How can we contribute to the betterment of the world? Are we truly living the basic principles of the philosophy that we teach, live by? Are we proving principle in our daily lives? I noticed there was a line in that opening song about love cover me that said to prove tenderness. Ernest Holmes, our founder, invited us to prove principle every day. And in January, when we pause and we ask ourselves all of these questions, we can look at, is that what we're doing? And are we happy with the way things are? How can we consciously live our divinity in fresh new ways and express it more powerfully in our daily life? You know, it's a science of mind thing, and it's the perfect time of year to do it. So I'm sure you know, but metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that studies the nature of being. And New Thought metaphysics, which Science of Mind is a part of, we come under the umbrella of the New Thought traditions. New Thought metaphysics focuses on understanding and connecting with our divine nature. It focuses on our divine nature as causal to everything in our human lives. And this is mostly done by moving beyond what we can perceive just with our five senses, you know, but from how we feel and what we know in consciousness, to know our oneness with spirit, with God, the all that is, whatever I like to call it, the divine presence, whatever name works for you, to know that oneness through an internal experience, not just from seeing it on the outside, although sometimes that can draw us into a connection, but to allow that felt experience of our oneness to inform our human lives. You know, this is the time of the year that we pause and we take a look at how these basic principles empower us to express our divine nature consciously by participating with creative law. And we look at how we can expand and grow in all areas of our lives. And that's basically what we've been doing this month. Reverend Abigail kicked us off their very first week of January, talking about who we are and why we can sparkle, because we're one with the divine. So I'm going to give you a real life example of what I'm talking about from a recent experience I had. As most of you know, I've been substitute teaching quite a bit lately. And I've been in lots of different grade levels. I've gone from kindergarten to fifth. And I tend to gravitate to the younger kids just because they have this kind of wide-eyed innocence that I just find very endearing. But a couple of months ago, I took a fifth grade classroom, a job in a fifth grade classroom. And honestly, it was kind of a nightmare. I had a group of 3 fifth grade boys that were really, really a challenge. And since then, I haven't taken a substitute job in a fifth grade classroom. Whenever I see them pop up or someone calls, you know, because we get calls and we also get the jobs online, I go, oh no, I'm not doing that. So the other day, I got a call from a school where I sub pretty frequently, and they desperately needed a sub in a fifth grade classroom. The teacher had come down with an emergency health challenges, and they needed a sub like now. And I said, yes. So I'm driving to the school. I'm on the way to the school, and I'm writing this horrible scenario in my head. Oh, this is going to be a terrible experience. Those fifth graders are going to eat me alive, and they can be so disrespectful, and on and on and on. And I caught myself and I said, what are you doing? Is this what you want to experience? And of course it wasn't. But I was allowing my previous experience to dictate my future experience in this fifth grade classroom and in any other fifth grade classroom I end up in. So I stopped and I pulled up a feeling of love. You know, I thought about how these children were just expressions of God. I just felt love, a connection with the divine within me. And then I put my attention on what I was more interested in experiencing. You know, I saw myself in a classroom with a kind, respectful, funny, an enjoyable group of 10 and 11-year-olds. I decided, I chose not to let the fear of my previous experience run the show. You know, that view was really just from my human experience, my past experience. And instead, I went directly to what I knew was possible in divine mind, in God. I wrote a completely different scenario of the day. And guess what? That's exactly what I had. Since the fifth grade teacher had gotten ill really unexpectedly, he really didn't leave me many subplans. They were pretty minimal. And so the kids and I designed the day. I just said, hey, what do you want to do? And we did some reading and we did some art and we had some free time on their iPads. We played some games. And I have to say that it was a thoroughly delightful day. I even had kids come up to me at the end of the day and say, you were the best sub we've ever had. I had completely turned my experience around by what I decided to put my attention on. What kind of day how did I want to feel? What did I want to experience? Certainly wasn't what I had before. So the point is that the potential for a wonderful day with the fifth graders already existed in the mind of God, and that mind is my mind too. So rather than focus on a previous experience, I found Waldo. I put my intention on a new one, a much more enjoyable one. And I focused on joy rather than frustration. You know, I put my intention on how I wanted to feel and what I wanted to experience, knowing that it was fully possible and already alive and well in the mind of God. Now, I read this beautiful quote. I looked for quite a few quotes for about using the law consciously, which is exactly what I was doing, from Holmes, because Holmes believes so thoroughly in the power of law. You can hear it in all of his writings, and if you listen to his audio, even though they're old, you can hear his belief in the power of law. So anyway, he wrote this, and I think this speaks really directly to the experience I had in the fifth grade classroom. It really does. So he wrote, life flows into everything, through everything. It passes into every human event and translates itself through every human act. Isn't that beautiful? If you think of life as flowing through your every action, you will soon discover that the things you give your attention to are quickened with new energy, for you are breathing the very essence of being into them. You know, and I believe that's what I was doing. I was breathing the very essence of what I wanted to experience in God into the way I showed up. You know, and I think that is such a powerful thing to realize that we are always creating our experience in this moment, in the next moment, in the next moment. You know, last week I talked a lot about creative law and on how quantum physics is supporting our understanding of how creative law works, that science is opening the door of our understanding to the spiritual principles that mystics and spiritual masters and poets and philosophers have been teaching and telling us for years. That what we think about is what we demonstrate in our lives, that we are empowered to create our lives with God by what we think and feel, by our belief. You know, and I don't want to give a rehash of last week's entire talk, but I want to remind us of the gist of it so we can expand on that a little bit this week. Scientists have discovered that at the very basic level of reality, within the atom itself, there's mostly empty space. But that empty space isn't really empty at all. It's vibrating with energy and with a few particles of matter. And at this level, particles of matter appear and disappear. There's nothing solid or absolute about particles of matter at the subatomic level. And scientists have also discovered that it takes an observer or a consciousness to focus on a particular wave of energy. They say to collapse it into a particle, to have it reappear, which means that we live in an observer created reality. I tripped over my tongue. We live in an observer created reality. That we create the reality because we observe it or put our attention on it. That our physical reality is shaped by the way we observe it. And we bring a lot to the way we observe. We bring our previous experiences and what we've come to believe about life, about ourselves, about the nature of it. Just like my experience in the 5th grade classroom. I was able to observe something new by changing my perspective, letting go of the previous experience, letting go of the fear, and moving into that space of love. You know, because if we only observe reality with our 5 senses, it seems as if there's some objective reality out there somewhere. You know, it sort of appears as if the objects that we see are separate from us, and they're not. And that to change anything in our life, we have to manipulate all these fixed circumstances and things, that we have to move things around in the physical world to have any kind of change, any kind of transformation in our life. And that is not true. Nothing could be further from the truth, because scientists have also discovered that human consciousness is an instrument of observation. Let me say that again. Our human consciousness is an instrument of observation, and what we observe collapses into a particle, into our experience. And we're shaping what we experience by our intent. Oh, there's another metaphysical word, intention. That's a metaphysical idea. Metaphysical ideas, metaphysics breaks us free from knowing only through our 5 senses. And it opens us up to the invisible world, the world beyond what we can experience only with our 5 senses, to that world of energy that we can observe in the one mind of God, which is also our mind. You know, Ernest Holmes, here I have another quote. Ernest Holmes told us in no uncertain terms how creative law works. He designed a template for us to use to consciously participate with the basic universal principles. Do I have the right one? No, I don't. The basic universal principles of spirituality. He designed spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And he wrote this. I love this. Every prayer is answered when it complies with 3, he gave us a list, 3 definite conditions. Here's his conditions. First, the condition is that we realize the divine presence. We realize the divine presence and that we're one with it. All that we call love, wisdom, wholeness, the source of everything good. So we realize divine presence. The second condition is that we understand there is a creative law which responds to us by corresponding to our belief. What we believe, the law says yes to. And here's the third condition. He said, and the third condition is that we use it for a definite purpose of good. Oh, I love that. Through praying affirmatively and through complete acceptance of the answer. That we pray for a purpose of good. I love that line. Do you love that line? You know, he's really clear and direct about the way in which we can participate with creative law. And he told us that in another, not this quote, but another part of the Science of Mind, he told us that love leads the way and law makes the way possible. I love that. You know, and I want to speak to that last line that I pointed out, where he wrote that we have to have a definite purpose for good. But the catch here is, and I think, and we talk about this a lot, is that we don't always know what the answered prayer can look like, should look like, what would be the perfect answer for, you know, we can't always find Waldo. Let's put it that way. So I was remembering that back in the last Sunday of December, which happened to be New Year's Eve, I spoke about how we might set an intention that we want to hold for the new year. And I spoke about how I'm not big on resolutions or goals to transform our life, but that holding an intention, which was a much more empowered way to begin our year. And I also said that because There is so much potential in the mind of God, infinite. We couldn't even possibly encompass it all in our conscious minds. We also call this the infinite field of potential, which kind of tells you what we got here. There's so much in there that we don't know because we've never experienced it or someone's never done it before, that the most powerful intention we can hold is how we feel. Remember I said that maybe our intention for the year should be how we want to feel, not what we want to see. You know, what quality of God it is that we want to experience as we walk through our day, as we walk through our year, because we can't focus our attention or observe what we don't know yet. But we do know how we want to feel. I mean, think about it. People living 1,000 years ago could not possibly have held an intention for electricity or for the internet or an airplane, but they could hold an intention for how they wanted to feel. They could hold an intention that they wanted to live in a warm and comfortable home, to have information at their fingertips, or to get from one place to another more quickly. But they certainly wouldn't have known exactly how these intentions would outpicture, because we can't know what we don't know, but we always know how we want to feel. To feel. How do I want to feel? I have to tell you, I very, very sincerely believe that is the feeling that is the power behind creative law. Through my experience of many years of practicing the science of mind philosophy, nothing has worked more powerfully for me than a heartfelt feeling, a deep conviction, a faith that in what the desired potential, my intention is, a belief that my desired prayer will be demonstrated. I can cite you many, many examples of feeling where the feeling behind my prayer was the power behind my prayer. When a complete absence of doubt of any kind was in me, that's when I saw the prayer. We can't know what we've never experienced before, but we can know that the answer is within the mind of God. Waldo is in there somewhere. And Ernest Holmes also believed the power of feeling. I told you I was looking up a bunch of his quotes because I knew how powerfully he believed in this law. And I found this one that I just thought was fantastic. Listen to this. He wrote this: I believe that the heart of the universe, the essence of reality or God, the living spirit, is the essence of pure feeling. Oh, he wrote my heart. I feel that feeling is back of every creative impulse, whether in God or man. We could say mankind, but God is mankind. So of course, if that feeling is the impulse of love and the creative juices of the universe, it's also going to be in us. How we feel is just so powerful. It's the language of our heart, of intuition, of knowing within our oneness with God without having to consciously think. So what does this all mean? So if we know that what we observe creates, that we live in an observer-created reality, as quantum physics tells us, and metaphysics as well. And we know that what we think and how we feel influences what we observe, our perception of things. Remember the fifth graders. Then how can we use this to empower our ability to create on a daily basis? How can we live our felt intention for good, for abundance and prosperity, for vitality and health, for meaning and purpose in our activities, and for loving relationships? Well, let's think of an example. What if I would really like to experience abundance and financial prosperity in my life, but when I look around at my life and other people's lives, all I see is what others have and what I don't. And I feel limited and imprisoned by my lack of money. If that's how I feel, then that's what I'm going to see express or demonstrate in my life. And if I find myself in this situation, what if I ask myself this? What is my intent with regard to this observation? How do I really want to see this situation? Can I see the abundance of money in the world around me? Can I see what I really do already have? Can I see what others have as a gift from spirit, and that I am just as able to receive that? Can I focus on feeling provided for and supplied? Can I live in, as Michael Beckwith calls it, the plenitude of the universal presence? I can shift that. I can look at what I'm observing, and if I'm feeling bad, ask myself why. You know, when we realize that we live in this observer created reality, that's when we're empowered. That's when we are empowered to create from our intent. You know, and it alters the physical reality of our physical world. It alters the reality of our physical world. Our world just opens up. You know, when our intention is based on a reality that is changeless and absolute, the reality of God, the divine presence, that's the only thing that's absolute. Everything else is malleable and changeable. That's when we bring that reality into our human lives, and we do it from the larger life. When we work in the realm of consciously creating with our intent, how we think and feel and observe, then we get to live in the expectation of the divine surprise, you know, the good that comes from living with the intention of knowing our divine birthright and what's available to us. And then we get to live in this incredibly joyous world, this incredibly joyous reality that we've created from our intent. So let's pray about that. Oh, so we sit in the all that is. We sit in our oneness with God, with spirit. There is nothing else, and we are in it. And so from this place of recognition, of unification, of knowing who and what we are in mind, let's let it drop down into our heart, and let's feel it. I am one with the divine presence, the allness of good. And I know right here and right now clearly that my intent, my focus, my observation is creating my reality. I don't know exactly how it's going to look, and that's okay. I know it will be good. I know I will be supplied. I know I will be in love. I know I will be healthy and vital. And I know that all of my life will be a joy to live. And for this, I'm just so, so grateful, because as it's true for me, it's true for everyone. We all are in this. So I'm so grateful for this reality, this power to create, this power to create right where we are in the allness of God. And I release this prayer knowing all is well. And together we say, and so it is. Where's Waldo? See, you gave me some stuff to say in my talk, Rob. We're looking for Waldo. It's always there somewhere. So, Lisa, are you doing the, I don't know who's doing it.
I'm doing it.
Okay. It's always somebody. You can always count on that. Let me get us back to basic here. And I will do this. And that's the wrong screen, so let me change that. Gotta get over here to the little arrow. There we go.
So this is the time for Thanksgiving, and Reverend Michelle has put up the mailing address if you'd like to mail a little money to One Heart, One Mind, or you can Venmo at One Heart, One Mind Center, and make sure you just look for Reverend Michelle's name. And it's a wonderful time to give as we receive so much from One Heart, One Mind. And we have a little prayer here. Sacred giving. Everything flows from the nature of God's good. We receive from this flow and we give from this flow. We give in gratitude and love. We have faith in the infinite giving nature of spirit. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh. So our wonderful friend Yvonne is back, but I'm going to give the announcements for her and we're going to let her rest. She's healing. God is bringing her body back into homeostasis. So anyway, what's coming up for us is Monday evening prayer group, as we always have. And what's that?
One month.
Are you
I'm
talking?
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you were talking to me. No worries. So we have the Monday evening prayer group at 6 o'clock, and that's just a quick come together and pray for our center, for ourselves, for the world. It's kind of refreshing though. You know, it's just kind of like a coming together for a few minutes. And then Tuesday, this week we're talking about the 5 Steps of Freedom book again. We're looking at the 4th step, which is gratitude, which is always most of our favorite topic. So that should be fun. So and then we had the morning prayer group last week, so we'll skip this week and then it'll be the following week, whatever that date is. I'm not sure. And let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, I'll put this in the newsletter. I was contacted by this group. I can't remember what they're called, Abigail. Now the name's evading me. Remember that it's it's an interfaith prayer group that meets weekly for prayers. And
Yes.
they invited,
Universal Peace Federation.
yeah, that's it.
Yes.
They invited me to just speak and pray. And it's my piece will be short. It's like 7 minutes, they said. And that'll be on Thursday at 10 a.m. I'll send out the link in case anybody's interested in joining. It should be fun to do that. So other than that, I can't think of anything else. Continue to please give to One Heart, One Mind, as I know all of you do. And it is so, so appreciated. And unexpected income starts flowing in and as soon as you expect it. And I guess that's about it. So let's see. I'm going to come back to you, Relaine, for the benediction.
Okay, thank you. So let's just close our eyes and feel the gratitude. The gratitude for everything, for all our feelings, for all our experiences, for all our thoughts and ideas and creative expressions, for all those that we love and all those that we know. Everyone that we are connected with the One Heart, One Mind community, everyone that we're connected with in our lives, all our animals, just everyone, all of nature. Just feel the gratitude. There's just so much gratitude in the present moment. And I just know that our consciousness is shifting, and it continues to shift with this gratitude of a One Heart, One Mind community, of Reverend Michelle, Rob's wonderful talk, the music, just everything. It just feels so incredibly wonderful to be in that place of gratitude. And so I know I release this prayer into divine laws. Our consciousness continues to shift through the week, and I just release it with love. And so it is.
And so it is. See, here we go. I have this, you guys probably already know this song, but it's such a beautiful song, and it just, I wasn't quite ready. I think it just kind of encompasses everything we've been talking about today. And it's rather a meditation as well on top of Relaine's beautiful, beautiful prayer. So here we go.
I am pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Ooh. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Hang on, I've got to start the other. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I love her voice. I just think it's a beautiful meditation. So, thank you all for being here. Let's stop our recording now.